why should I give a damn?
I was watching a clip about your boy Diddy, and your Diddy was very passionate talking about how R&B is dead. He has this R&B track that he's pushing. I ain't gonna lie, it's a good track. It's a poor man's Chris Brown track. He should have had Chris Brown over Bryson Tiller. He had Bryson Tiller in the video looking like he just got off a 12-hour shift. But one thing about Diddy, I'll give him, he pushing the fuck out of this track. I'm seeing my Instagram algorithm, he must have paid Instagram to cheat the algorithm, because every time I'm logged in, I'm seeing Diddy hopping off a private jet, bumping this song, doing that weak-ass dance. Every time I log in Instagram. So I got to give him
tap in from a... Go ahead, Colin.
No, I'm just saying it's not weak. Diddy Bop is not weak.
No, it's not. I love the Diddy Bop.
I will say, as an R&B girl, people don't be listening to R&B like that. And I don't know, because even Chris Brown, although he might be questionable, he had a point, because his song Warm Embrace, that's supposed to be a hit. That's my song. But I love it too. But I listen to the radio every day at work. They have it playing. That song don't play at all. They don't play it one time.
Any Chris Brown songs play?
No. I don't hear nothing. I hear Future. I hear Future.
Like on the morning radio at work? That's
yes,
crazy.
I hear Future. I hear Rob Wave, even though he might be a rapper, but he be singing.
The fact that Rod Wave, time out. The fact that Rod Wave gets more play than Chris Brown is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Continue.
Although I will say, I do hear Tim's. She be doing her thing. Okay, I hear Tim's. Tim's between whatever the songs that she got. I like her music, but
look, Tim's. I never get tired of Tim's.
They mostly play Future featuring Drake and Tim's. Wait for you. They mostly play that. They play her
Not
other
the
songs
original.
too.
Those are main songs. Probably play it.
Those are main songs. But they don't play Chris Brown. Weren't like anything from his new album, and that was a good album. It was a great album. They don't play any of his songs. They don't play any other R&B either. And there's good R&B out here. There's very good R&B. They don't play that. They don't play Division. Although I don't like their last song, If You Catch Me Cheating or whatever. I don't care for that shit. But the other stuff they haven't played that on the radio for the past few years. Like, it's just...
So, Ash, you'll probably agree with this then, because you're R&B, because people who actually look for R&B and listen to R&B will say there's a lot of good R&B out there, but what's dead isn't R&B, but what's dead is the promotion and the pushing of R&B. Yeah. Because a lot of the good R&B that we listen to, it isn't getting played on the radio like it used to. It isn't getting used in the TikToks and used in the social media. Like, R&B isn't, like, once social media came along, rap music is the perfect art form for social media, because you can get a lot of quick lines off, cool lines off. Rap is all about not showing your flaws. It lines up with social media perfectly, whereas R&B is vulnerable. R&B is the love.
With TikTok, a lot of the old school R&B is coming back, and they doing the dances to the old I Like, and all of those things are getting Zapp and Roger and all of these groups the streaming after all of these years for no reason, because the youth are taking the old school R&B and making dance crazes to them. So I think there's an appreciation for the nostalgia of R&B. But when it comes to radio, which is something for me as an artist, where I don't always feel like a lot of people want to argue about who should battle who on verses because of certain hits or whatever, but a lot of the real hits from major artists never make the radio. Right. Those are the singles or the songs on albums that never make the radio, never get a visual for them. Like, it is dead.
So I gotta ask everybody then, who agrees with Diddy that R&B and dead? Do any of us agree with Diddy that R&B and dead, or is just the promotion?
I don't agree with Diddy. I think that it's a mixture of the promotion and also what, I guess, radio stations or whoever's putting the music out there is focused on. Because if the radios, if they literally played R&B music,
right,
then it will be heard by more people and then continue to get played. But it doesn't. There's literally no R&B song.
There's times where I hear R&B hits.
And I hate listening to the radio.
Like new R&B.
You gotta go to 98.3.
There's times where I hear R&B hits and I be like, this song should be way bigger, but not enough people.
Like from who though?
Like when Tank dropped that "When We."
But
no,
but even think about this. Jasmine Sullivan just won her first Grammy this year.
Her album was
this
crazy.
year. She been out since like at least 2008. At least.
Yeah.
She just won her
But
first Grammy,
low key
but
pause. While we talking about the state of R&B, what I think is, and Chris Brown touched on is that so many rappers are singing now and being like melodic rappers or whatever it is that you want to call it, that is speaking of Rod Wave and shit, because this nigga make funeral music. It's always about depression, anxiety, and funerals and shit. I don't want to hear that shit. If you get in the whip saying play Rod.
Sorry, that was, you did have a rant about how he started off when his life being worthless. Did I see you post that?
Yeah.
You were like disgusted.
Started off because I seen a viral like status tweet or whatever. It was like, he said this, like, I'm turning it off. So I finally tried to listen to the album. Literally the first line in the whole album, the first song was, "You ever feel worthless?" I said,
I can't do that.
I'm turning this off.
That's why I don't do Rod Wave. I'm sorry. Rod Wave makes wrist litter music.
It was like an instrumental for like a good 30 seconds too. So I'm like getting into the song. I'm like, okay. You ever feel worthless?
You get rappers like Dirk or whoever, they still incorporate melody into their music because, or perfect example, Young Thug, people like, oh, this nigga uses his voice like an instrument. What are we as someone who values lyrical rap, I don't understand how motherfuckers are so...
Is Young Thug a lyricist to you? He's not Young Thug.
So basically what you're saying is that the rappers are taking... The rappers are basically taking over the R&B lane, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. And I think this generation doesn't have what we grew up on to know as R&B, because even though we 80s babies, we was born in the 80s. Well, I don't know how old everybody is and shit. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But I'm probably the old bitch in the room and shit.
89.
And given very much almost 40 and shit, I'm 36. So my level of understanding... Thank you. Ash said I look good, period. Let's take a break for looking good, bitch. But yet and still, it's like my understanding of R&B is different because on the reincarnation tip, I was just on the TZ Talks podcast. Shout out to TZ and everybody over there. And they asked me like, what do you listen to any new artists? And I said, I honestly listen to music from the 70s still. Like that's what I tap into, and that's why Beyonce's Renaissance album is everything. And it's not just because I'm gay and I live for the ballroom.
So you're not in tune with like the new R&B people? Like you don't.
No, I am. I love the new.
So who's the top R&B people, man and woman? Like male, female.
Right
man
now?
And woman, I don't know. I don't want to get on the pronoun stuff. But man and women, who do you think is the top? Because I feel like you like all the old people. You respect the old school, but you're kind of...
I'm not shitting on the old school. I mean, on the new school. But, like, I love Lucky Day. I love him. He's everything. He gives me, like, R&B, like, old school R&B mixed with, like, Frank Ocean vibes. Like, I love Lucky Day. I shout out to him. I really love him.
Yeah, we gotta name some of these new R&B people that's making moves. Because a lot of us R&B, I'm an R&B head. I love Ella Mai. Mm-hmm. She needs more love than what she's getting.
Y'all introduced me to Ella Mai like 5 years ago.
Yeah, you already know what time. Before the booed up niggas came along and hijacked her.
When she had her EPs, like... I still don't like Jacquees.
Wait, Eric, is Jacquees a good singer to you?
It's disrespectful to bring up Jacquees in this conversation.
No,
he's a prime nostril singer. I don't like him. But I'm gonna tell you a male singer that I got a lot of respect for that's be flying under the radar. Brent Fires.
Oh yeah, Brent Fire.
That mug can blow. He can sing.
Pause. But interesting. I didn't think you would like.
I like him. I like he's creative. And he can sing. That's very rare that you get that.
That's Bree type of music. Fuck nigga singing. He is actually the singing Future.
And
he's really the singing Future. I haven't listened to his music.
Even thinking about Future, people think that before the Young Thug wave, that Future's voice was an instrument. He just used the melodies and all of this in a different way, and it's just like, where did we start blurring the lines of hip hop and R&B to the, even though like before, like Mary J. Blige was considered the queen of hip hop and R&B and shit, and that was different because she was just collabing with hip hop artists on R&B shit.
Look, this is random. I wrote a paper about this in like high school.
Okay.
And nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like,
"You go to predominantly white school?"
No, I went to a black school, but
here,
you know,
where
it was
you from
it
here?
was very small. Yes, I'm from here.
You sound like you from like Texas or something.
Believers in Christ Christian Academy High School Excellence. Anyway, praise the Lord. Anyway,
Assalamu alaikum.
So our senior year, we had an option to write whatever we wanted to write about, and I said R&B music is becoming more like hip hop, like it's becoming more upbeat. It's not, you know, whatever. Mind you, I was 17 at the time, so. Yeah, I wrote a paper about this and everybody was confused. They're like, "What do you mean? Like the music is becoming more hip hop?" I'm like, there's no slow jams anymore. Like there's a few, but there's not.
DJ,
but they're not getting like the recognition. Like it's more like the pop hits or like the hits that are like, you know, with rappers, which is fine.
Cause what's the last big R&B song that we all listen to? Like, you know, like Usher. But what's the last song that everybody kind of know? Cause like you said, radio's dead. We all listen to our own.
They got some good R&B out here. If you need a good playlist, check out the Brown Sugar playlist on Apple Music.
Yeah, they do.
They continue to update it. The Me and Bae playlist on Apple Music. They got some good shit on there.
That's a good
I don't
one.
know what the last one that was mainstream.
I don't know. There was a
It
lot.
might be Throw Baby. That might be the last.
Throw
R&B.
Baby.
Every nigga was singing. I might.
That was not.
I might have to. Every nigga was singing that song. I'm
Look.
like, damn.
That was not it.
Says Lil Bit.
What's her name? Isley, something Isley. I forget. I'm gonna have to look at my phone. But there's a lot of amazing R&B music that's not mainstream because, of course, think about it. I don't listen to the radio in my car, so we can't rely on the radio to tell us. Like when we was growing up listening to V100, I remember You Make Me, Usher, being on like when people called in, and if you called in for this certain track so much, it was instant replay, and they'll run the track back and shit. Like we don't have that shit.
We know the label was just paying niggas. Like we are a little more woke to that.
Yeah, but they don't even pay niggas for the R&B music to play though.
Ye kind of shed light on that when he was. People thought it was he is obsessed with Drake, and I'm just gonna put that out there and shit. But when he realized like DJ Khaled and Drake and those kind of camps of people was basically paying radio stations, iHeart, whatever it was, to play their shit more, then he knew like real hip hop and the shit that would have been played in the 90s that was the shit that would have been on the radio that's not on there is because major artists and their labels are paying the studios to play their shit before anybody else's and shit. Nobody's calling in requesting shit. It's not giving 106 and Park era and shit. Nobody's calling in saying I want to hear play this, that, and the third and shit.
No, even when I listen to the radio now, they be like, go to the iHeartRadio app and leave a voicemail for us. I'm like, you're not asking us to
That's
request
some grandma
songs.
shit. Y'all on some grandma
The
shit.
times is different though, and the thing about it is R&B music to today's era. We're talking from our era. But to today's kids, R&B just isn't cool no more. It's definitely not dead to me. I still listen to R&B, but at the same time, I try to put my head in the eyes of these kids and think about the music we was listening to. They was crooning, simping, begging for their woman back. Can I get a baby back? You know, every other song was "I did you wrong." Can I have you back? And all this other shit.
I did you wrong.
These new kids don't
You did
believe
me
in
wrong.
none of that shit. Exactly. All that all
me
my life.
back.
They had the Casey and JoJo joints all my life and shit. Look,
Oh,
these motherfuckers now, these kids now, they don't give a fuck about all that. All that going overboard for a woman's love like R&B used to be. They think that's being a simp now.
Dancing in the rain.
And then the women,
The whole time, and the weirder part about that is they think that type of music is simping, but you're gonna post Dirk in India and say relationship goals at the same time.
because in their mind, women should only come from the amount of money and clout you have. It should never be how you treating them. It should all because if you treating a woman good, you're a basic, you're a buster, you're a simp. That's how these niggas think now. So in R&B, it was all about I love you, I'll kiss you, I'll do all this, I'll make love to you like you want me to, all of that shit. Now, all they want to hear is, I got the cash, fuck bitches, get money. She gonna suck me because I got money. So the
She
culture
sucking and
changed.
fucking, she sucking and fucking, she sucking and fucking. What Quavo say?
So R&B, it's not that R&B is dead. It's not that R&B is dead. It's more so that the culture changed. So the content that made R&B is no longer what these young people want.
I don't think it's not dead. It's hidden. That's all. You just gotta go deeper to find it.